Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Watch.
As the Canelo versus Crawford showdown gets closer, the tension continues to rise. Similar to the last press event, controversy broke out when Canelo and his camp were accused of using harsh words. It all began when Canelo was asked about their clash at the earlier media conference.
I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it. I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Al-Ashi told him, you need to do something. And he did. He did. And now...
Following the press event, Crawford once more mentioned that he found Canelo's wild actions amusing, adding that he actually enjoys the drama.
I laughed at it, as you can see. You know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated than ever now.
At the previous press conference, Terence Crawford spoke about Canelo Alvarez pushing him during their confrontation. He made it clear that the shove never intimidated him and didn't impact his approach at all, stressing that it had no effect on the game plan he prepared.
Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that little push didn't do nothing, as you can see. But come fight time, we're not going to be pushing, we're going to be punching, so it doesn't even matter.
Along with the latest press event, the fighters shared another heated face-off with an intense stare. UFC's Dana White, now also involved as a boxing promoter, had to step forward and separate Canelo and Crawford before things escalated further. Now they share the same stage in this rare and historic event. Both men have defeated top names across divisions, collected multiple world titles, and silenced countless critics along the way. Reflecting on his bout with Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez explained how that experience fuels him. He recalled Saunders' behavior and attitude leading up to the fight, which triggered his anger and made him fight with extra aggression once inside the ring. By saying this, Canelo hinted that Crawford's actions could spark the same fierce determination when they finally meet in battle.
For Bud Crawford, you know, a lot of MMA fans, UFC fans may not have ever seen you fight before, and they might tune in because Dana and the UFC are involved. So what has it been like maybe introducing yourself to a lot of MMA fans?
Some of Crawford's remarks struck a nerve with Canelo Alvarez, particularly when Crawford insisted he had no interest in living up to anyone else's expectations. Canelo felt Crawford was indirectly trying to prove something or aiming comments at someone during the press gathering in front of reporters.
A little bit more personal because, you know, I did respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say, I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that. And then he tried to, maybe Turki Al-Ashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in Riyadh. So and he tried to he welcome me back, and that's why I pushed him. And you know, like I say, don't fuck with me.
Does it bring a different Canelo then?
Yeah, it's different.
At the press conference, Canelo repeated his stance. He told reporters and boxing officials that Crawford's aggression in the last exchange might have come from advice within his camp. Canelo then warned Crawford directly, saying if he crossed a line with him, his boxing career would be finished.
Before I respect his word because he say, oh, I'm not gonna let somebody to tell me what I need to do. And he did, so, but you know me. Just, I respect everybody, but if you me, so it's gonna be different. You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We know.
First
we know.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford clashed again in a heated exchange. Crawford mentioned rumors spread by Canelo's camp, saying people claimed he was nervous. To prove otherwise, he confronted Canelo face-to-face to show he wasn't scared and hinted he was already preparing his strategy. Canelo responded by denying such talk ever came from him, instead pointing out that those words have been linked to statements made by someone else connected to Crawford's own family.
Somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight. I ain't scared of shit.
Hey, I never say that. Your uncle say that, not me.
Crawford keeps repeating that fear has never been part of his mindset. At their previous press event, he declared he wasn't intimidated by the idea of stepping up against Canelo, who is naturally the bigger fighter. He promised Canelo will realize that once they finally fight.
Scared of shit. And you're gonna find that out. As you've seen, the last press conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's gonna be different from you as well.
Standing on one side is Canelo Alvarez, a Mexican icon and the current undisputed super middleweight champion. With 63 victories, 39 knockouts, and just a couple of defeats, he has shared the ring with some of the best: Golovkin, Plant, Kovalev, Cotto, and many more. While both fans and fighters hyped the size of this matchup, Canelo carefully managed the pressure and spotlight. Though slightly nervous at first, he now fully understands the magnitude of this moment and recognizes it as a defining day in his career.
See the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo. Then I sort of leant towards Vaz, but now I'm back with Canelo. So we'll see.
Canelo's an all-time great. He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him because
Promoter Eddie Hearn admitted he favors Canelo slightly. At the same time, he emphasized this won't be an easy contest for either man. Hearn explained that Crawford's special style, fast reflexes, slick movements, and constant adjustment could completely change the rhythm of the fight, almost like a chessboard, forcing Canelo to adapt quickly and chase momentum.
he'll engage a lot more than Skull, but he will be looking to do all the things where people have had success, which is use movement. Look at what Bivol did. Bivol had the perfect game plan. He boxed off the back foot, then he attacked, then he moved, then he, all that kind of stuff. And I think Crawford will be looking to do exactly the same.
Hearn also added that Crawford views this fight as something beyond money or another championship belt. That isn't his ultimate aim. Instead, Crawford sees it as his opportunity to prove he is more than a technical master, to elevate himself into greatness, and to be remembered in the history of the sport. According to Hearn, Crawford doesn't crave power or recognition alone. His true objective is to create a lasting memory that defines his boxing legacy.
It's a fight that's probably quite personal to him, to prove himself as a great. And there is no doubt that if he wins this fight, he's a great. He's a pound for pound tremendous fighter, but
another major factor to address was the size gap. Crawford, at 147 pounds, has long been a natural welterweight, while Canelo has ruled at 168 pounds. The jump in weight is obvious, yet Crawford consistently called out Canelo's name, showing he was serious. Interestingly, Canelo never dismissed the possibility. Instead of shutting the door, he left it slightly open, suggesting that if the business side came together properly, he would genuinely consider making the fight happen, keeping the opportunity alive.
47, obviously 154 now, but the money's the money, and he was never going to turn it down.
Canelo's career has taken him from a young rising prospect to one of the biggest global superstars and pay-per-view attractions of modern boxing. He has captured titles in 4 different divisions, building a reign that stretches beyond the ring. Known for his toughness, punishing bodywork, and precise counterpunches, he established his own empire inside the sport. At the latest press event, he appeared calm, relaxed, and confident. Canelo spoke about collaborating with Dana White and the organizers preparing the stage. He pointed out how White and UFC athletes work in unity, stressing that he doesn't see UFC as competition to boxing. People might think we're rivals, but I don't, Canelo explained. I respect Dana White and admire every UFC fighter. If we join forces, we can achieve incredible things. He said he was excited to work alongside White, Netflix, and everyone else backing this mega fight, showing genuine appreciation for the partnership. Turning back to his opponent, Canelo added that Crawford brings a unique challenge to the table. Meanwhile, Antonio Tarver praised Crawford's mindset, comparing his focus and fearless presence to the aura once carried by legendary champions. Tarver highlighted that Crawford's mental toughness could play a huge role on fight night.
I've been telling y'all for the longest, that boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about. What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir.
Tarver. He got that.
Yes,
and so
sir.
you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro.
Tarver then shifted focus back to Canelo Alvarez and offered a tougher critique. He admitted Canelo is a proven warrior, but argued that the Mexican star hasn't faced a true challenge in recent years, and his ring movement hasn't looked as sharp. Tarver warned that getting too comfortable can be dangerous, even for elite fighters, because comfort often dulls reflexes. He believes Canelo's footwork has slipped and that he hasn't shown the same threat level lately. Sometimes you stay in that safe zone too long, but against Crawford you'll need to dig deep, Tarver explained. Turning to Crawford, Tarver described him as a master technician with an unbeaten record and 30 knockouts. His ability to switch stances creates a puzzle opponents still haven't solved. After dominating at 140, Crawford ruled the welterweight division by shocking the world against Errol Spence Jr. before moving up again to secure another title at 154. Now, stepping into 168, he's taking another huge leap, a rare act of bravery that few fighters ever attempt. Meanwhile, Frank Martin compared how William Skull approached Canelo with how Crawford might fight him. Skull adjusted his style to be overly cautious, a strategy Martin felt relied too much on defense. Martin doesn't see Crawford doing that. Instead, he expects Crawford to combine slick boxing with moments of aggression, willing to take shots when necessary. Martin pointed out that although Canelo has a size and strength advantage, Crawford brings speed and precision that can neutralize it. In Martin's eyes, Crawford's quickness and timing give him a realistic chance to defeat Canelo, making him extremely dangerous despite being the smaller man stepping into the ring.
Quicker than him and
fast. Sometimes, man, like, just because a guy bigger, it don't always mean, like, you know, he can crack, but, you know, it's like Terence he gonna be the faster, you know, he gonna be the quicker fighter, the more explosive fighter, too, I feel like.
He also emphasized that Canelo Alvarez remains an exceptionally strong fighter who can both absorb punishment and deliver it back with force. That toughness sets him apart from many other boxers and keeps him dangerous despite questions about his recent form. Supporters of Canelo argue that while his speed may have slowed, his combination of heavy hands and refined skills ensures he's always a threat inside the ropes. For Canelo, defeating Crawford is about more than just another victory. It's about preserving the legacy he has built. He understands that a loss to Crawford would cast doubt on all his past accomplishments and tarnish his place in boxing history. Meanwhile, Crawford's fans are convinced that his agility, adaptability, and sharp ring IQ will tip the scales in his favor. They believe his ability to adjust mid-fight, paired with quick decision-making, will give him a clear advantage over Canelo. To them, this matchup represents Crawford's ultimate chance to prove himself against one of the sport's most iconic names, solidifying his own legacy under the brightest lights of his career.
You can take a guy like Canelo, this guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Even though weight could play a role in this fight, neither side holds a clear physical advantage. That's exactly why both teams appear so confident. Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, didn't respond with trash talk but carried a calm certainty that spoke volumes. He made it clear he already knew how things would unfold, even if their detailed plans stayed private. Bomac avoided putting on a show for cameras or hyping the drama. His focus stayed on the work behind closed doors, discipline, trust built over years, and careful preparation he believes will bring victory. "We're just going to go in there and win," he said. "Do everything to help us get that win. I won't reveal the plan, but everyone knows I believe we'll succeed." Crawford's record adds weight to that claim, holding a 73% knockout rate compared to Canelo's 63.9%, impressive since most of Crawford's career has been at lighter weights. Meanwhile, Oscar de la Hoya has been outspoken, taking shots not only at the fight itself but also at promotions and even a dinner attended by Canelo, Crawford, and Turki Alalshik. De la Hoya blasted the friendliness, saying it removed the intensity boxing needs. According to him, fans don't tune in for compliments but for fire, tension, and raw energy that make fights feel like battles. He compared today's atmosphere to great rivalries of the past, pointing out that legendary opponents like Ali versus Frazier or Tyson versus Mitch Green would never have been seen socializing before stepping in the ring.
Muhammad Ali or like Joe Frazier having dinner together? What? Can you imagine Mike Tyson and Mitch Green before a brawl? Hey, what the No boxing fan wants to see two fighters having dinner together.
We could have a dinner on Wednesday night.
Oscar de la Hoya repeated his point. The true excitement of boxing lies in the build-up. Because of the mental tension, every round feels like a test of survival. When promotion looks staged or overly polished, the story loses impact. Fans want genuine fights, real anticipation, and the sense that a war is about to start, not fancy dinners during a fight trilogy. He took it further, urging Crawford to remind people of Canelo's failed drug test linked to tainted meat, a scandal that has haunted Canelo for years. De la Hoya insisted that such truths could genuinely anger Canelo, exposing a weakness that cuts deeper than numbers or statistics. But beyond controversy, it all comes down to legacy. Crawford enters the ring as a two-time undisputed champion, with nothing left to prove, yet still searching for the challenge that only greatness can bring. Canelo, on the other hand, has ruled the sport for so long that the only way to keep his throne is by defeating the man seen as his biggest threat. British boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies added to this, reminding Crawford of what awaits him, warning that the fight could turn brutal very quickly.
Fight for both men. Canelo always looks for the knockout, as he says. He will be planting his feet. And as I said to Terence, are you prepared to be hit harder than you've ever been hit before? Obviously, he doesn't want to be hit, but Canelo will hit him harder than anyone he's probably been in against. So Spence hits hard, but it wasn't the same Errol Spence that he fought. And he's up against one of the all-time greats of Mexican boxing on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a really big fight for him. It's a legacy fight because his resume isn't anything like Saul Canelo Alvarez's legacy.
Oscar de la Hoya repeated his point. The true excitement of boxing lies in the build-up. Because of the mental tension, every round feels like a test of survival. When promotion looks staged or overly polished, the story loses impact. Fans want genuine fights, real anticipation, and the sense that a war is about to start, not fancy dinners during a fight trilogy. He took it further, urging Crawford to remind people of Canelo's failed drug test linked to tainted meat, a scandal that has haunted Canelo for years. De la Hoya insisted that such truths could genuinely anger Canelo, exposing a weakness that cuts deeper than numbers or statistics. But beyond controversy, it all comes down to legacy. Crawford enters the ring as a two-time undisputed champion, with nothing left to prove, yet still searching for the challenge that only greatness can bring. Canelo, on the other hand, has ruled the sport for so long that the only way to keep his throne is by defeating the man seen as his biggest threat. British boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies added to this, reminding Crawford of what awaits him, warning that the fight could turn brutal very quickly.